Hi, welcome to Teach Me Miss D. This is step 2 in column addition. This is helping you with your children's next step, which is where the numbers become a little bit more complicated. Now in these numbers we are going to be looking at numbers which add up to more than 9. So therefore the column addition step is a little bit different because it's going to do what we call either carrying or bridging. It's worth checking with your school which word they use so that you use the same thing at home and don't confuse anybody. So let me show you what that means. So when we are counting the units so far in step 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's the most our units have got to, because after 9 it becomes a different matter, because if we are to add a 10th one on, it will become 10, which it makes sense, but it's worth the children actually seeing that. Now you can use coins to help you show this, or you can use Dean's cubes if you've got them. They're probably able to buy online, but it's a really good way of showing that 9 units, as soon as you get an extra one, it becomes exactly the same as 110. So when we're looking at our place value columns, it goes from the units column being 9 into the tens column when it becomes 110. And that's quite important to begin with. So we're going to have a little look at an example and talk you through the step 2 process of column addition. So I might begin now with these numbers. Again, I've chosen these numbers quite carefully. I've chosen to do 329 plus 247. Now I've purposely chosen these numbers because currently in this example only the units will go bigger than 9, because again it's another step when we want the tens to go bigger. So we're going to ask ourselves the question, 9 plus 7, starting at the units column, which we've already drilled in step 1 examples. 9 plus 7 equals 16. Now we can't just squeeze in a 16 into the units column. That's not how it works. It's got to be one digit in each. So we've now got to think about what 16 actually means. 16 is written in our place value columns like this, 1, 10 and 6 units. So in column addition we need to write that in the same way. We need to put the tens in our tens column and the 6 in our units column. Now where we record this 10 that we've either carried or bridged over into the next one is up to you. Some people record it below the equals lines, some people record it up here. Again, I would check with your child's school where they are going to teach it, because it's best if you do the same at home. Even if it's different to the way you learnt, it will be less confusing for them when they go into the classroom to do it. So we've still written the number 16, but we've just split it up by writing the tens in the tens column and the 6 in the units column. Now we carry on exactly the same as we've done before. So we look at the tens column. We've got 2 tens plus 4 tens, but this time we've got an extra 10 down here that we need to add on. So 4 and 2 makes 6, add that one makes 7. Or make sure your children can understand that that's 20 plus 40 plus another 10 makes 70. Then we tackle the hundreds in the same way. 300 plus 200 is 500. Now sometimes you can get children to tick that they've remembered to add it, sometimes circle it, whatever you want to do to make sure that they have remembered that they've just added that on to the number above. Okay, and that is step 2, but it can get trickier. It's no different step, but this time, what if your number that reached over 9 wasn't in the units column? What if we had 254 and we add 372 this time? Our equals line's underneath. We start at the units as always. 4 add 2 is 6. Well, that's absolutely fine, and it's just what the children we were looking at before. But now if we look at our tens column, we've got 5 tens, which is actually 50, add 7 tens, which is actually 70, which will equal 12 tens. Now 12 tens is the same as 120, and you can get them to count that 10, 20, 30, 40 and so forth up to the 12 tens so that they can see that that's 120. If they were doing the 5 and the 7, they would still get 12 and realise we can't just squidge 12 in the middle, it's one digit per place. So because it's 12 tens, which is 120, the 1 of the 100 goes in the hundreds column and the 20 goes in the tens column. So it becomes 120. Writing it out like this is sometimes really useful for them to see that it's the same, and also getting them to count their tens. They should be pretty good with their 10 times table by now. So it's worth counting it up to make sure they can see that. Then we do the same. 200 plus 300 is 500, plus the 100 down here is 600. Again, get them to tick it, circle it, whatever it is you want them to do to remind themselves that they have added it on. So after you've done a few examples where the units are bigger than 9, try a few where the tens are bigger than 9, and probably fairly easy to see the next step and final step of stage 2 would be if the hundreds become bigger than 9. Once they've learnt this step, they can pretty much apply it to all numbers. So this time I might choose them the number 561 plus 627 equals. You'll notice again I'm taking time to pick the numbers because I don't want them to have to carry or bridge too much at the minute while they're learning the steps. I'm just controlling one thing at a time that I want to bridge. So starting the process again, units. 1 unit plus 7 units, 8 units. Get them to count it on their fingers however they need to do that. The tens, 6 tens plus 2 tens is 8 tens, or 60 plus 20 is 80. This time I'm at the hundreds and I know it's going to be more than 9 because 5 and 6 equals 11. Try not to let them just squeeze it in because again we know that it's only one digit per box. The thought process that's going to go on here is 500 plus 600 actually equals 1100, and if they count up 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 and so on, they will get to 1100. So where are they going to record that? This is where they need to add on their next column of their place value table. The 1 is going to go into the 1000 columns. I'm going to extend my equals lines. The 100 in the hundreds column. Okay. Final step, we have no other thousands up here. We only have the 1000 here, so we can write that in. But it's good to get them used to recording it down here because that's where it will show that they've understood the method. Now, once they get really good at practicing that, and again, pick the numbers carefully, one number at a time to bridge. Once they get confident with that, you can then give them numbers where the units bridge and the tens bridge, or maybe the units bridge and the hundreds bridge. But again, don't forget to try numbers of different number of digits, so a 3-digit number plus a 2-digit number, so they get used to practicing that. And again, set those challenges around the house to make it fun so that they want to look for it and they want to solve them. And don't make them sit and solve loads in one go, it'll make it really boring. Just a couple every day is plenty. Maybe hide one each day, see if they can find it in the house and solve it to get a sticker or whatever reward system you want to use at home. But taking them through these steps carefully means they're not going to be faced with numbers which they're not ready to deal with straight away. Good luck working on this at home. Please comment below if you need me to go over anything else and subscribe if you like my channel. Thanks ever so much.